Zerga's Fifth Dimension, Cosmic Gladiator. Part 1 The Way In. Written by John Zerga Jr. ACT-1. The Stadium of Stars. Ext. The Cosmic Coliseum, Timeless. The Cosmic Coliseum stretches across the fifth dimension like a wound in reality. Imagine the Roman Colosseum scaled up until it could swallow galaxies whole. The stone isn't marble, it's compressed starlight and ancient meteor rock, scarred by eons of spiritual warfare. Hieroglyphs from dead civilizations cover every surface, glowing faintly with residual cosmic radiation. The sky above isn't a sky at all, it's a swirling vortex of purples, blacks, and burning golds that defy the human spectrum. Colors that shouldn't exist bleed into each other like oil on water. Lightning arcs between impossible dimensions, crackling with the sound of reality tearing at the seams. The stands are packed beyond capacity, not just with people, but with entities. Angels with wings made of mathematical equations. Demons wearing the faces of failed empires. Historical figures arguing with their fictional counterparts. Philosophers debating warriors. Saints sitting uncomfortably close to sinners. The forgotten souls of history mix with pop culture icons, all gathered for the same reason, to witness the oldest grudge match in existence. The noise is deafening, a roar that sounds like the ocean crashing against the shores of eternity, like a jet engine wrapped in a hurricane, like every argument humanity has ever had compressed into one infinite scream. The arena floor is a circle of compressed starlight, 300 feet in diameter. The sand isn't sand, it's pulverized nebula, shifting and glowing faintly with every step. In the center rises the Hill of Skulls, a raised platform 20 feet across, built from the calcified remains of forgotten gods. Around the edge of the arena, void chasms yawn like open mouths, holes in reality where the floor simply stops existing. Fall in, and you fall forever, tumbling through dimensions that have no names, no light, no bottom. Above the arena, massive floating rocks drift lazily on cosmic winds, their surfaces covered in moss that glows with bioluminescence. These are the high grounds, the aerial battlefields, the places where fights are won or lost in 3 dimensions instead of 2. Hovering near the sandy floor are floating platforms made of crystallized time. On the largest platform sits the commentary desk. Frank Sinatra adjusts a microphone that looks like it was ripped from a 1950s radio studio and then dipped in chrome and stardust. He's wearing a tuxedo that is somehow unwrinkled despite the cosmic winds that whip through the arena. His fedora sits at the perfect angle. His pocket square is folded with geometric precision. He looks like he's about to perform at the Sands in Las Vegas, not call a cosmic death match at the end of the universe. Next to him sits Howard Cosell, wearing his signature yellow blazer, his face locked in an expression of intense intellectual scrutiny. His notes are scattered across the desk, papers covered in statistics, prophecies, and betting odds. He taps his pen against a clipboard made of petrified wood. Sinatra leans into the microphone. His voice is smooth, cool, liquid gold poured over ice. It cuts through the roar of the crowd like a knife through silk. Ladies and gentlemen, demons and deities, saints and sinners, welcome to the main event. He pauses, letting the words hang in the air. We are broadcasting live from the end of the line, the Cosmic Coliseum, where tonight, and I mean tonight, folks, we settle the oldest score in the book. The grudge match that's been brewing since the 3rd day of creation. The heavyweight bout that makes Ali vs. Frazier look like a slap fight in a kindergarten. He lights a cigarette, the flame is blue, the smoke rises and forms the shape of a question mark before dissolving. I'm Frank Sinatra, the voice, and with me tonight is the mouth that roared, the professor of the squared circle, Howard Cosell. Howard, the energy in this room, can you feel it? You could light up the Vegas Strip with the static electricity in here. You could power 1,000 suns. This is electric, baby. Cosell adjusts his glasses and leans forward, his voice staccato, nasal, urgent, like a machine gun firing syllables. Quite right, Frank, a veritable cacophony of anticipation. We have witnessed gladiator matches before, Spartacus, Maximus, the battles of the Colosseum in Rome, but tonight's contest transcends mere mortality. This is theological warfare. This is the eternal struggle between light and dark made manifest in flesh and fury. In one corner, we have the Prince of Lies, the Sultan of Sin, the adversary, the accuser, the morning star who fell like lightning from heaven. And in the other corner, he pauses, flipping through his notes, frowning. Quote, a dark horse, an unknown variable, a prophet with a pen and a playlist, a man they call Zerga. The smart money, Frank, and I have consulted with the bookmakers, the oracles, the probability matrices. The smart money is overwhelmingly on the devil. He has the experience. He has the weight class. He has been fighting this war since before humanity learned to walk upright. Sinatra takes a drag from his cigarette and exhales slowly. Maybe, Howard, maybe, but you know what, I like a long shot. I like a guy who does it his way. I like a contender who walks in looking like he just lost a bar fight and still has the guts to step into the ring. Those are the guys who surprise you. Those are the guys who rewrite the script. He points toward the center of the arena with his cigarette. Speaking of rewriting the script, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your halos. Hold on to your horns. Hold on to whatever cosmic appendage you've got, because it's about to get loud. It's time for the opening act. The lights in the Colosseum die. Absolute darkness. The kind of darkness that existed before God said, "Let there be light." The kind of darkness that swallows hope. For 3 seconds, there is nothing. No sound, no light, just the void. Then, a sound. A drum intro. Fast. Double kick. Machine gun rhythm. Thud 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 thud. The bass drum hits like artillery fire. Like a heartbeat amplified 1,000 times, like the footsteps of an approaching God. A single spotlight hits the center of the arena, so bright it hurts to look at, so white it bleeds into blue at the edges. Rob Halford of Judas Priest rides out from the north gate. But he isn't on a Harley Davidson. He's riding a motorcycle made of pure light. The wheels are spinning galaxies, each spoke a spiral arm of stars. The exhaust pipes shoot holy fire, not the metaphorical kind, but actual sanctified flame that purifies everything it touches. The engine roars like the voice of the seraphim, like the sound the universe made when it was born. Halford himself is dressed in studded leather and chrome, his sunglasses reflecting infinity, his jaw set in an expression of absolute conviction. He opens his mouth and screams. It's a note so high it shatters the glass in the VIP box. It's a note so pure it makes angels weep and demons cover their ears. It's the sound of resurrection. It's the sound of war. He sings, his voice cutting through dimensions, faster than a laser bullet. Louder than an atom bomb. Chromium-plated boiling metal, brighter than 1,000 suns. The motorcycle circles the arena, leaving trails of light in its wake. The light doesn't fade, it lingers, forming patterns, sacred geometry, the names of God written in photons. The crowd is divided. In the section marked, the mosh pit, the misfits, the rockers, the rebels, the outcasts, are losing their minds. They're headbanging so hard the floating rocks above them vibrate. Ozzy Osbourne is standing on his chair, fist raised, screaming unintelligibly. Lemmy from Motorhead is banging his head, his mutton chops swinging like pendulums. Freddie Mercury is conducting the crowd like an orchestra, his arms sweeping through the air, his voice harmonizing with Halford's scream. But in the section marked, the Pharisees, the reaction is different. The pious, the legalists, the suits, they're covering their ears. They're looking horrified. A bishop clutches his rosary and mutters prayers of protection. A televangelist in a white suit shakes his head in disgust. A Puritan elder stands up and shouts, "Blasphemy! This is satanic noise. This is the music of the pit." But his voice is drowned out by the roar of the motorcycle, by the scream of Halford, by the thunder of the drums. Dash dash dash. Cut to the Greek chorus, the cheap seats. In the nosebleed section, on a floating rock so far from the action it's practically in another dimension, Cheech and Chong sit on a worn-out couch that somehow exists in the void. Smoke surrounds them, but it's not brimstone, it's the good stuff, the kind that makes you see the truth. Cheech squints at the arena far below, his eyes red and glassy. "Hey man, is that a bike? Or is that, like, an angel with a tailpipe?" He tilts his head, trying to make sense of the light show. "Because if that's a bike, man, I want one. I want to ride that thing to the 7-Eleven and see if they give me free Slurpees." Chong nods slowly, his movements deliberate, like he's moving through syrup. His eyes are wide and childlike, full of wonder. "I think it's the apocalypse, man. But it's got a great beat. You think they sell nachos here? I'm starving." He looks around, searching for a concession stand that doesn't exist. Wait, man. Look at those guys." He points to the Pharisee section, where the religious crowd is still recoiling from the heavy metal assault. "Look at those guys in the robes. They hate it. They're, like, physically in pain." Cheech follows his gaze and nods sagely. "That's 'cause they don't get the metaphor, man. The painkiller," he gestures at Halford, who's hitting a note so high it's causing dimensional rifts. The painkiller, man, it's the savior. He's coming to fix the wheels. To oil the gears. To restart the engine. It's like a redemption song, but with more leather and explosions. Chong's eyes light up with sudden clarity. Dude, that's deep. That's like Sunday school meets monster trucks. He takes another hit and exhales slowly. You think Jesus rode a motorcycle? Like in the missing chapters of the Bible. Cheech considers this seriously. I think if Jesus came back today, man, he'd totally ride a bike. And he'd play guitar. And the Pharisees, he points at the horrified religious section. They'd still hate him, because he'd be too loud, too wild, too alive. Back in the arena, Halford hits the final scream of painkiller. He is the painkiller. The note sustains for 10 seconds, vibrating the very fabric of space-time. The motorcycle explodes into a shower of sparks that drift down like snow, like the ashes of the old world, like the seeds of the new. Halford vanishes, consumed by the light, his mission complete. The crowd is vibrating. The air smells like ozone and burning incense. The stage is set. Act 2, the entrance of the idol, the adversary. The mood shifts. The heavy metal energy dissipates, replaced by something slick, corporate, seductive. The cosmic winds die down. The lights brighten, but not with holy fire, with the cold, sterile glow of fluorescent bulbs, the kind you find in megachurches and Fortune 500 boardrooms. A golden gate opens on the north side of the arena, and it doesn't grind or creak, it glides open smoothly, silently, like it's been oiled by a team of perfectionist engineers. The devil walks out, and he does not look like a monster. He does not look like the red-skinned, horned beast from medieval paintings or the grotesque demon from horror movies. He looks perfect. He is wearing a $10,000 Italian suit, tailored to molecular precision. The fabric is a shade of charcoal gray that somehow shifts between black and silver depending on the light. His shirt is crisp white, his tie is silk, his cufflinks are platinum. His hair is coiffed, not a strand out of place, swept back like a CEO about to deliver a TED Talk. His teeth are blindingly white, the kind of white that requires veneers and a team of cosmetic dentists. His skin is flawless, tanned to perfection, glowing with health and vitality. He looks like the most successful televangelist, the most powerful CEO, the most charismatic politician, all rolled into one. He radiates success. He radiates approval. He radiates the confidence of a man who has never lost, never doubted, never failed. Sinatra whistles low. Look at that suit, Howard. That's a sharp cut. You think he shops on Savile Row? That's not off the rack. That's bespoke. That's custom. That's the kind of suit that says, I own the bank, I own the building, I own you. Cosell taps his pen against his clipboard, his voice tinged with grudging admiration. He shops in the vanity of man, Frank. Look at the crowd. They love him, and it's true. The Pharisees are standing up, applauding politely but enthusiastically. They see a winner. They see someone who follows the rules of the world. They see someone who looks the part. In the VIP box, Samyaza and Azazel, the Watchers, the fallen angels who mated with human women and corrupted the world before the flood, lean back in their seats, nodding approvingly. Samyaza adjusts his sunglasses. Class. Pure class. He understands presentation. Image is everything. The mortals don't care about truth, they care about optics. Azazel swirls a glass of wine that looks like liquid rubies. He looks like a leader. That's what they want. They don't want truth. Truth is uncomfortable, truth demands change. They want a good keynote speech. They want motivational posters. They want someone to tell them they're doing fine, that they don't need to repent, that success is the same as righteousness. The devil walks to the center of the arena, his movements smooth and practiced, like a model on a runway. He waves to the crowd, his smile broad and warm, his eyes scanning the stands, making eye contact with key demographics. A woman in the Pharisee section throws a rose onto the sand. He catches it effortlessly, brings it to his nose, inhales deeply, and smiles. For a moment, everything seems perfect. Then the rose begins to wilt in his hand. The petals blacken and curl, turning to ash within seconds. But the Pharisees don't see it, they're too far away, too dazzled by his smile, too mesmerized by his charisma. But the misfits see it. Ozzy points, his face twisting in disgust. Freddy's eyes narrow. Elvis leans forward, his lip curling. Up in the nosebleeds, Chong nudges Cheech. Yo, man, look at his shadow. Cheech looks. The devil's shadow on the sand isn't human-shaped. It's a writhing hydra, a multi-headed serpent, each head snapping at the air, each mouth filled with teeth. The shadow moves independently of the devil's body, coiling and uncoiling, hungry and restless. His shadow's got teeth, man, Chong says quietly, all the humor gone from his voice. Never trust a dude whose shadow is hungry. The devil picks up a microphone that materialized in his hand. His voice is smooth, reassuring, hypnotic, the voice of a late-night infomercial, the voice of a self-help guru, the voice of a man who wants to sell you something you don't need. My friends, my children, he spreads his arms wide, as if embracing the entire Colosseum. Why are we fighting? Why this violence? Why this conflict? He shakes his head sadly, like a disappointed father. I offer you peace. I offer you order. I offer you a world where you don't have to struggle, where you don't have to suffer, where you don't have to doubt. Just sign the ledger. Just agree that the shadows are comfortable. Just admit that the light is too bright, too harsh, too demanding. He pauses, letting the words sink in. Why listen to the noise? Why listen to the screamers, the prophets, the madmen? They offer you struggle. They offer you sacrifice. They offer you a narrow path and a heavy cross. He smiles, and the smile is almost genuine. I offer you the easy way. The broad path. The gentle slope. Silence is golden, my friends. And I own all the gold. Up in the stands, Cheech shakes his head. Man, that guy talks smooth. Like butter on a hot sidewalk. Like a used car salesman who went to therapy and learned to fake empathy. Chong stares at the devil's shadow, which is now forming shapes, dollar signs, corporate logos, the silhouettes of empires built on bones. Yeah, but look at his shadow, man. His shadow's writing checks his body can't cash. ACT 3, the entrance of the misfit Zerga. The south gate grinds open. It's rusty. It squeaks. It sounds like a garbage truck backing up, like a shopping cart with a broken wheel, like the hinges of a door that hasn't been oiled in 1,000 years. The sound is so mundane, so unglamorous, that it's almost comical after the devil's slick entrance. The Pharisees laugh. Did they forget to oil the gate? One sneers. What kind of production value is this? Zerga walks out. You do not look like a CEO. You do not look like a champion. You look like you just walked out of a storm, or a bar fight, or both. You're wearing a battered leather jacket covered in patches, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Kiss and Striper. The leather is cracked and scarred, stained with ink and road dust and sweat. Your jeans are faded, ripped at the knees, the hems frayed. Your boots are steel-toed and scuffed, the kind you wear when you're expecting to kick something hard. Around your knuckles, wrapped like brass knuckles, are prayer beads, rosary beads made of black onyx, each bead carved with a different name of God. They click together as you walk, a rhythmic counterpoint to your footsteps. You're dragging something heavy behind you. Mjolnir, the hammer of Thor, the weapon of the thunder god, forged in the heart of a dying star, inscribed with runes that predate language. It carves a deep furrow in the sand as you drag it, leaving a trail of sparks and ionized air. The hammer is massive, too big for a mortal to wield, too heavy for anyone without divine permission to even lift. But you drag it anyway, your shoulders hunched, your jaw set, your eyes locked on the devil. You look tired. You look rough. You look like the guy the security guards usually kick out of the arena. You look like someone who's been fighting for years and has the scars to prove it. The crowd erupts, but it's not unified. The Pharisees boo. He's unkempt, shouts a man in a three-piece suit. He listens to devil music. Screams a woman clutching a Bible. He writes horror stories. He uses profanity. He's not one of us. They're scandalized, genuinely offended by your appearance, by your lack of polish, by your refusal to conform. But in the mosh pit section, the misfits stand up as one. Ozzy Osbourne climbs onto his chair, raising both fists in the air, screaming your name like a war cry. Rick James pumps his fist, his rings catching the light. Freddie Mercury starts clapping, stomp, stomp, clap, the rhythm of We Will Rock You. Within seconds, the entire misfit section picks it up. Stomp, stomp, clap, stomp, stomp, clap. The sound is primal, tribal, defiant. Sinatra leans into the microphone, his voice tinged with respect. And here comes the kid. He looks road-worn, Howard. He looks like he went 12 rounds with a whiskey bottle and lost. He looks like he slept in his car and used his jacket as a pillow. But you know what? He's here. He showed up. And sometimes, showing up is the hardest part. Cosell flips through his notes, his voice rising with excitement. That is the look of a contender, Frank. That is the look of a man who has seen the bottom, who has stared into the abyss, who has been counted out and written off and dismissed, and decided to climb back up anyway. He isn't polished, he isn't perfect, he is forged, he is tempered steel, he is the underdog, the long shot, the nobody who refuses to stay down. You walk to the center of the arena. You stop 10 feet from the devil. You rest the head of Mjolnir on the sand. Thud. The impact sends a shockwave through the ground, cracking the pulverized nebula, sending up a cloud of stardust. You look up at the devil. Your face is covered in stubble. Your eyes are bloodshot, but there's something in your gaze, something unbroken. Something that refuses to quit. Nice suit, Lucy, you say, your voice rough, gravelly, like you've been shouting into the wind for years. Does it come in, soul-sucking black? Or is that next season's collection? The devil's smile doesn't falter, but something flickers in his eyes, annoyance, maybe, or recognition. He steps closer, his polished shoes clicking on the sand, his hands clasped behind his back like a professor about to deliver a lecture. Zerga, the prophet, he says the word like it's a joke, like it's something to be mocked. Look at you, you reek of heavy metal and bad decisions. You smell like truck stops and dive bars and failure. He circles you slowly, like a shark sizing up prey. You think you are worthy to stand in this ring. You are a sinner. You are broken. You are a mess. He gestures to the crowd, to the jeering Pharisees. Look at them, the religious, the righteous, the respectable, they know you don't belong here. They know you're not one of them. You're an outsider, a rebel, a misfit, and misfits lose. You look up at the Pharisee section, at the sneering faces, the judgmental eyes, the crossed arms. You nod slowly. Yeah, you're right, I don't belong in their club. You look past the Pharisees to the mosh pit, to the misfits, Cheech and Chong smoking in the nosebleeds, Ozzy screaming your name, Freddie conducting the stomp stomp clap, Elvis leaning forward with his arms crossed, Lemmy nodding in approval. But I'm not fighting for the club. I'm fighting for the guys smoking in the parking lot. I'm fighting for the ones who got kicked out, the ones who got rejected, the ones you threw away. You lift Mjolnir, and it hums with electricity, arcs of lightning crawling up the handle, wrapping around your arm. I'm fighting for the broken. And that makes me heavier than you. The devil's smile falters. For just a second, his eyes turn reptilian, slitted pupils, cold and ancient. Then the smile returns, but it's forced now, tight at the edges. Insolence, he hisses. I will strip the flesh from your bones. I will break you. I will make you beg. You tap Mjolnir against the ground. Clang. Sparks fly. Try it, Lucy, but watch out for the interference. You grin, and it's not a nice grin. It's the grin of someone who's been underestimated their whole life and learned to use it as a weapon. I got friends in low places. ACT 4. The locker room, the armoring. Before the bell rings, there is a ritual. The buffing phase. The moment when the fighter is prepared, when the warrior is blessed, when the gladiator is armed. You kneel in the sand, your head bowed, your hands resting on Mjolnir's handle. The crowd quiets. Even the Pharisees stop jeering. Even the devil stops smiling. There's a sense that something sacred is about to happen, something ancient and powerful. Archangel Michael descends from the VIP box. He doesn't fly, he falls like a meteor, like a comet, like the wrath of God-given wings. He lands with a shockwave that cracks the hill of skulls, that sends ripples through the sand, that makes the floating rocks above shudder and spin. He is 10 feet tall, impossibly broad, wearing armor made of diamonds and stars. His wings are not feathered, they are made of interlocking blades of light, each feather a sword, each wing a battalion. His face is beautiful and terrible, the face of a warrior who has fought since the beginning, who has seen empires rise and fall, who has stood at the gates of hell and held the line. His voice is like a trumpet, like thunder, like the sound of inevitability. Stand up, Rider. It's not a request, it's a command. You stand, your legs shaking, your heart pounding. Michael looks at you, and his eyes are like suns, too bright to look at directly, too intense to hold. You cannot fight the accuser naked. He will cut you with shame. He will stab you with guilt. He will use your failures as weapons, your doubts as daggers. You need the whole armor. He touches your shoulder, and the world changes. The breastplate of righteousness forms over your leather jacket. It isn't shiny plate mail like in the movies. It doesn't gleam. It looks like chrome and iron welded together with scars, like it's been through 1,000 battles and survived. It glows with a dull, heavy heat, the kind of heat that comes from a forge, from a fire that purifies. You feel the weight of it settle on your chest, grounding you, anchoring you. It's not just armor, it's a reminder. A reminder that you're not fighting in your own strength, that you're covered, that you're protected not by your own righteousness but by something greater. The belt of truth wraps around your waist. It's made of woven light, inscribed with words in languages you don't know but somehow understand. Veritas, Aletheia, Emet, truth. As soon as it cinches tight, you feel heavier. Not physically heavier, metaphysically heavier. Like you've gained mass, like you've become harder to move, harder to shake. The belt creates a gravity field around you, an anchor to reality. Lies slide off you now. Deceptions can't take root. You are tethered to what is real. The boots of peace encase your worn-out steel-toed boots in silver. They don't make you faster, they make you stable. They make it so you can stand on ground that's crumbling, on sand that's shifting, on realities that are collapsing. Blessed are the peacemakers, Michael says, for they will be called children of God. But peace is not passivity. Peace is the result of war won. These boots will let you stand where others fall. The helmet of salvation is the last piece. Michael hands it to you reverently, like he's handing you a crown. It looks like a hybrid of a Roman galea and a welding mask. The front is a dark visor, reinforced, impenetrable. You can see out, but no one can see in. Michael's voice drops to a whisper, urgent, severe. Do not look at his face, Zerga. He is beautiful. He is the morning star. If you look at his beauty, you will hesitate. You will doubt. You will wonder if you're the villain in this story. He taps the side of the helmet. This will protect you. Look at his feet. Look at his hands. Look at the blood he has spilled, the lives he has ruined, the souls he has devoured. Fight with the spirit. Fight with the logos. Fight with the word. You put on the helmet. The world inside turns green and digital, like night vision goggles, like the Matrix. You can see heat signatures, energy flows, the underlying code of reality. You see the devil's shadow writhing on the sand, see the teeth in the hydra's mouths, see the hunger. You nod. Copy that, coach. Logos engaged. Dash dash dash. Cut to the war room, the generals. In the stands, the strategists are debating. General George S. Patton is standing, binoculars pressed to his face, his jaw working a piece of gum like he's chewing gravel. He's wearing his 4-star uniform, his helmet polished to a mirror shine, his riding boots gleaming. Look at that armor. He's tanked up. He's got protection. Now he needs to use it. He needs to close the distance. Don't let the devil use his reach. Blitzkrieg, damn it, hit him fast, hit him hard, hit him in the nose and don't stop until he's on the ground. Next to him, Mahatma Gandhi sits cross-legged, wearing his simple white dhoti, spinning a prayer wheel with one hand. His voice is calm, almost serene. Violence is a blunt instrument, General. The armor is not for deflection, it is for reflection. The devil cannot stand to see himself. If the prophet polishes his breastplate, if he holds up the mirror of truth, the devil will strike his own image. Non-violence is not passivity. It is the refusal to become the enemy. Patton grunts, spits his gum over the railing. You're too philosophical, Gandhi. In war, you hit the enemy until he stops moving. Philosophy doesn't stop a bayonet. Napoleon Bonaparte leans forward, his hands clasped, his eyes sharp. You are both wrong. The devil's weakness is his pride. He believes he is invincible. He will not expect the brute to be smart. Zerga must feign weakness. He must lure the enemy onto unfavorable terrain. He must make the devil overextend. Then, he snaps his fingers. The trap closes. Behind them, Bruce Lee is shadowboxing in the aisle, his movements so fast they blur, his breathing controlled and rhythmic. The hammer is heavy, too slow. He must be water. When the trident strikes, he must flow around it. The armor is good, but the mind must be the fortress. If he thinks like a warrior, he loses. He must think like water. Formless, shapeless, inevitable. Dash dash dash. ACT 5. The intermission, the betting pool. While you and the devil stare each other down, the crowd is placing bets. Cosmic credits change hands. Souls are wagered. Prophecies are bought and sold. In the VIP section, John F. Kennedy is holding a fistful of betting slips, his hair perfectly combed, his smile bright and confident. I'm telling you, Al, the kid has vigor. He has that new frontier energy. He's rough around the edges, sure, but that's how you know he's real. I'm putting 1,000 cosmic credits on the prophet. Al Capone sits next to him, chewing a cigar that smells like sulfur and old money. He looks at JFK like he's a naive child. You're a dreamer, Jack. Look at the other guy. Look at the suit. That's a guy who owns the judges. That's a guy who fixed the fight before he walked in the door. I've run numbers my whole life, kid. I know a fix when I see one. The devil ain't losing. The house always wins. Elvis Presley leans over from the row behind, crumbs of peanut butter sandwich on his lip, his jumpsuit glittering with rhinestones. Man, I don't know about the house. But that hammer's got rhythm. He points at Mjolnir, which is crackling with electricity, humming a low, resonant tone. Did you see it spark? That ain't static. That's soul. I'm with the president. Put me down for the kid in the leather. In the corner, Nietzsche slumps in his seat, a glass of absinthe in his hand, his mustache drooping, his eyes hollow. God is dead. The hammer is a symbol of overcompensation. The devil is the Übermensch. He imposes his will. This fight is a farce. He takes a sip, grimaces. We are watching a puppet show. The strings are visible, but we pretend not to see them. Freddie Mercury stands up, throwing popcorn at Nietzsche. Oh, lighten up, Friedrich. It's a show. It's a rock opera. It's theater. He turns to the crowd, spreading his arms wide. Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. The misfits pick up the beat. Stomp, stomp, clap, stomp, stomp, clap. The rhythm shakes the Colosseum. Even the Pharisees feel it in their bones. ACT 6. The training montage, the flashback. As Michael finishes blessing the armor, you close your eyes. The crowd noise fades. You remember. Flashback. Int. A gym in the void, earlier. You're sparring with David, the shepherd who killed Goliath. He's teaching you how to use a sling, how to aim, how to find the gap in the armor. The giant has armor, David says, his voice young but fierce. You have a stone. One stone. Aim for the gap. Aim for the pride. Aim for the place where he thinks he's invincible. Flashback. Int. A dojo in the clouds, earlier. You're learning staff combat from Miyamoto Musashi. He disarms you effortlessly, again and again, his wooden sword moving faster than you can track. You fight like a rider, thinking 3 moves ahead. But your body is slow. He taps your chest. The spirit is willing. The flesh needs work. Train the body to obey the spirit. Then you will be whole. Flashback. Int. A forge in Asgard, earlier. Thor hands you Mjolnir. His eyes are skeptical. Lift it. You try. The hammer doesn't budge. It might as well be bolted to the floor. Thor laughs, but it's not cruel, it's understanding. You are not strong enough. Not yet, but you are stubborn enough. And sometimes, that's the same thing. He places his hand on the hammer, and it glows. I lend you my strength, writer. Use it wisely. Use it justly. And when the fight is over, return it. This is not yours to keep, it is yours to borrow. Back to present. You open your eyes. Michael nods. You are not a warrior, Zerga. But you are a student of war. That will have to be enough. ACT 7. The way in, the stare down. The stomp clap rhythm is shaking the ground now, causing micro-earthquakes, causing the void chasms to widen. Zerga stands toe to toe with the devil. The contrast is blinding, almost painful to look at. The devil is glowing with false light, polished, smooth, perfect. You are dark, battered, scarred, glowing only with the internal fire of the Holy Spirit, with the borrowed strength of Thor, with the armor of Michael. The devil leans in close. He smells like expensive cologne, Tom Ford, maybe, or something custom made in Paris, but underneath it, there's another smell. Rotting meat, decay, the smell of something that's been dead for a long time but refuses to stop moving. You know you can't win, John, he whispers, his voice intimate, personal, like he's your oldest friend. I know your secrets. I know your doubts. I know about the nights you wanted to quit. I know about the blog posts no one read. I know about the manuscripts that got rejected. I know about the times you looked at your life and thought, is this it? Is this all I am? He smiles, and it's almost sympathetic. You are a hypocrite. You are a sinner in a welding mask. You preach truth, but you live in contradictions. Why? Fight. Just kneel. I'll make you famous. I'll make your writing a bestseller. I'll give you the world. All you have to do is stop pretending you're one of the good guys. Your voice comes out mechanical, amplified by the helmet, heavy and distorted. I don't want the world, Lucy. I want the truth. You tap the breastplate with your fist. Clang. The sound echoes across the Colosseum. And here's the truth. You look good. You talk good. You sell the dream real pretty. But you're empty. You're a shell. You're a suit with nothing inside. You lift Mjolnir, and lightning arcs from the hammer to the sky, connecting earth to heaven. I'm a sinner. Yeah, I'm a mess. I'm a heavy metal prophet. I'm everything you say I am. But I'm forgiven, and that makes me heavier than you. You raise the hammer high. And I brought a hammer to a glass house. The devil's smile falters completely. His eyes turn fully reptilian, the pupils narrowing to slits, the irises glowing a sickly yellow. Insolence, he snarls, and for the first time, his voice loses its smoothness, becomes rough, guttural, ancient. I will strip the flesh from your bones. I will make you scream. I will make you curse the day you were born. Try it, you say. But watch out for the interference. I got friends in low places. The bell rings. Ding, ding, ding. Sinatra's voice cuts through the tension, smooth and electric. And we are underway, ladies and gentlemen. The prophet versus the prince. The hammer versus the trident. The underdog versus the undefeated. Let's get ready to, well, you know the rest. Fade out. Sinatra's voice cuts through the tension, smooth and electric. And we are underway, ladies and gentlemen. The prophet versus the prince. The hammer versus the trident. The underdog versus the undefeated. Let's get ready to, well, you know the rest. Fade out. Dash dash dash.